due to the largest wildfire in LA history, which has burned more than 1,000 buildings. We are now hearing that Donald Trump is stepping in. He's blaming Governor Gavin Newsom for his misconduct, his mismanagement, and he's led the state in the wrong direction. What we are now seeing, and this devastation that Los Angeles County is facing and the surrounding area, what we are now hearing is that there could be federal mandates that these things are going to change once Donald Trump steps in. So I'm going to break all this down in just a moment, show you what is going on, the destruction that we're seeing over in California, and what this could mean for the rest of the country moving forward. So I'm going to break all this down in just a moment, but all I ask is one thing. It takes 2 seconds. Go ahead, hit that like button if you enjoy these daily updates, and now let's begin. So Donald Trump has vowed to make changes and to make America great again. Now, here's what's going on. Look at this. It says Trump says Newsom is to blame for apocalyptic wildfires. Says he wanted to protect an essentially worthless fish called a smelt. That's what Donald Trump said on Truth Social. Well, I want to read a little bit of this to you. But before I do, I want to show you this. Look at this clip and look how devastating this is.
4 growing wildfires now in Southern California. 2 people have died, and authorities say more than 1,000 homes have been destroyed as multiple fires tear through Los Angeles County. Thousands have been evacuated there.
Thousands and thousands of people. Okay, about 100,000 people had to be evacuated in the Los Angeles County and surrounding areas. Okay, it says 2 people lost their lives. The latest report, 5 people have lost their lives. Not only that, it's the latest report is well over 1,000 homes have been completely destroyed. Not just the homes, the belongings inside, the cars parked on the street, in the garages have been absolutely destroyed. Okay? The destruction that we're seeing, the cleanup that's going to take place after this, it's not going to take weeks. It's not going to take months. This is something that is going to take years to rebuild. And for many, they will never be able to do it. Now, why did this happen? Well, look at this. It says fire hydrants ran dry in Southern California just when they were needed most. There was no water. I reported this on TikTok just this morning, that there was no water. Nothing. Officials say it was mismanagement that caused this. Donald Trump says, and I want to read this to you. Look at this. It says, Governor Gavin Newsom refused to sign the water restoration declaration put before him that would have allowed millions of gallons of water from excess rain and snowmelt from the north to flow daily into many parts of California, including the areas that are currently burning in a virtually apocalyptic way. Yeah. Because he didn't sign that bill because he wanted to protect the smelt, according to Donald Trump. Here we go. It says he wanted to protect an essentially worthless fish called a smelt. By giving it less water, it didn't work. But didn't care about the people of California. Now the ultimate price is being paid. I will demand that this incompetent governor allow beautiful, clean, fresh water to flow into California. He is to blame for this. On top of it all, no water for fire hydrants, not firefighting planes, a true disaster. Yeah. And this is where things are really taking place and getting out of hand. Is that California is one of those states that many insurance companies pulled out of. They would not insure your vehicles, wouldn't insure your house, and many people got canceled just in the past couple of weeks. Now, here's where things are scary. There were firefighters, and I'm not going to play you any of the clips, but I'll explain what happened. Firefighters were fighting fires, and even news reporters were trying to get people out of their homes. But the reporters were telling and kind of reporting on the story, people were staying in their homes because that's all they had. If their home was gone, which is tough to talk about and kind of go through it, but if their home was gone, they would have no reason to live, according to many statements from people that were staying in their homes. that their home was all they had. Okay? That if their home burnt down, they'd be homeless because they don't have any insurance on their home, because their insurance policy was since canceled after the last couple weeks or months ago, whenever it was. And so a lot of these people, especially elderly people, were staying in their homes because that's all they had. All their belongings were there. If they lost all their belongings, they lost their home, they lost their car, what reason did they have to live is pretty much what they said. That's scary to think about, but that's exactly what happened. I want to play another clip for you. Listen to this one right here.
Fire officials have called for more resources as they battle a disaster of epic proportions. Multiple wildfires burning across Los Angeles County.
Together, these fires are stretching the capacity of emergency services to their maximum limits.
The largest one is in the Pacific Palisades neighborhood. Tens of thousands of residents are under evacuation orders.
So there you go. Tens of thousands. Okay. Last report was it's just under 100,000 people. I think it was like 80-some thousand who were being evacuated. Many of these people were, especially last night, were having to park their cars, get out and run because the fire was blowing up the hillside so quickly. Okay? And a bulldozer, and I did a video on this earlier this morning, a bulldozer had to pretty much bulldoze a way through, a path through, so firefighters can get up the hill to fight the fire, and people could still make their way down the hill to get out of harm's way. They were trying to make their way to Pacific Coast Highway. The problem there is now you look at that and, well, the fire burned all the way to the ocean. Again, this is devastating. This is horrific. But in that last video, last clip, he said firefighters are requesting more resources. There's not enough firefighters. There's not enough water. Okay? There's not enough planes. There's not enough roads to get out. And then on top of that, and I reported on this, I talked about this yesterday in a TikTok video. I'll put a link to my TikTok account down in the description box below, so make sure you go follow it. But I talked about this on TikTok, and I talked about it this morning, that many officials are blaming the state for not cleaning up all this dry brush that's fuel to a fire. That's one of the reasons why a little ember will make another blaze, because that's all it takes, dry brush. But if the state were to pay and have somebody clean it up, again, the state's now going to ask for probably more tax money, but it's going to keep people safe. The problem is they're wasting all their money on other things that aren't making a difference. But yet this is going to be huge. And it's going to impact all of us, whether we live in California or Florida or Texas or Wyoming, New York, doesn't matter. Okay, South Dakota, it's going to impact every single one of us, because insurance companies, after this, are going to look at the entire state and start putting everybody in the same bucket. And now they're going to start charging us in other states to pay for the destruction that's happening in California and in Florida. Okay? It doesn't matter. So just understand right now, you may think everything is just fine on your end, and it may as well be, but here in the near future, based off of what we're hearing, there's going to be changes. Donald Trump has already vowed, okay, he said it right here, I will demand that the incompetent governor allow beautiful, clean, fresh water to flow into California. Well, how are we going to do that? What changes are we going to make? So I will leave you with that, but that is what we know as of today. So again, thank you guys for watching. Consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys on the next one.